if you look at the market right now, it's down just 63 points.
Just since we've been on the air.
It's even more. It's lovely to see even more. I would just like to say, if you are now scrambling today for your 401k login information, this is not the time to do it.
Right.
Don't.
Could you just do it around your birthday or like in July or something? I mean,
Don't look at your portfolio.
And if you are very close to retirement, you should not have all of your assets in the stock market. That's risk. That's risk capital when you're toward retirement.
I think that people have been complacent about that too, and I'm the same. I mean, everybody's been saying, look, you got to be in stocks, you got to ride this market. If you had rebalanced, you would have lost money. But it's what Christine is saying is true. You've got to look at when do you need your money, what should the balance be, and I think a lot of people are going to be doing that now.
There is a lot of that going on because there is that fear, and it's often tough for people to not have that knee-jerk reaction. Of course.
Well, what's the old saying about the stock market? It's driven by fear and greed.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And when you get these sell-offs, people get in this fear mode. Oh, I got to sell everything I have. And this is I mean, look, if you look at historically the dips in the stock market over the last 50 years, in most cases they correct themselves pretty quickly. And buying the dip, I don't think. Well, right now the market's down 100. It was down about 300. An hour ago, but either hold, if you're in the stock market for retirement purposes, you don't want to try to day trade. You don't want to time these things.
For sure.
These moves are not mom and pop investors. These moves are derivatives traders who are betting against volatility. They are program traders who are, all of a sudden there's a spike in the 10-year note yield, and that corresponds with they have to sell some stocks. I mean, that's how that works. I will say half of Americans are not in the stock market too. They care about their paycheck, and we have seen wages start to slowly creep up. The story of this year, I think, is going to be the wage story. Does wage growth really kick in there? And if it does, we're hearing from companies that they can't find workers. What's the worker story going to be in America? How are we going to get more workers to chase after the jobs we need?
That's a crucial point, because when you go back to basics, growth is two things. It's the number of workers you have and how productive they are. And we actually have, a lower population growth than we did when growth was much higher several decades ago. That's kind of a crucial fact that people forget in all the noise here.
Let me ask you a question before we let you all go, too. We were watching a lot overnight what was happening in the international markets and how connected that would be, volatility there. And that was the question of what could that have as further impact now on the Dow. What we saw in international markets and what we're seeing now, are we starting to see that sort of level off a little bit too? How connected is that?
So the international markets were reflecting what happened in the Dow yesterday.
Right.
So now the Dow is setting the stage again. Now we're watching U.S. stocks and U.S. fundamentals again, and so we're sort of resetting, right? So if you see the Dow close higher today, which could happen, God knows what's going to happen today, right? You could see,
we're 10 minutes in.
Right. You could see European markets come back too, but the European markets overnight and the Asian markets all, I think, hit their 10% correction, right? So everyone's had that correction. In Wall Street, they call it the pause that refreshes, so maybe that's what it is.
What's the old saying? When we sneeze, the rest of the world catches.
Oh my gosh, we have so many Wall Street sayings that
that'll have to be for another segment, though. But I've been keeping a list here, and they're all very good.
The trend is your friend. Don't try to catch a falling knife.
Oh man, Christine.
Okay, you have to save some for the next hour. Christine, Ron, Stephen, thank you all.